Добро утро, добър ден или добър вечер, където и да сте на тази прекрасна земя. Това видео е само за мъже. Говоря на английски език с един от най-добрите ми приятели от Лондон, Даниел Джиковски, за това, кои са най-големите битки за вас, прекрасни мъже, в момента, какви вътрешни борби водите вътрешно и как да ги преодолеете. За вярването, че мъжете трябва да бъдат мачота. И какво се случва с тялото, когато започнете да трупате емоции и мисли, когато не успявате да изразите вашите мисли и емоции за дълго време. Ще чуете примери от него как различни мъже са успели да раздробят големи проблеми на малки стъпчици и да променят хода на бизнеса си и на семейните взаимоотношения към един много по-пълноценен и щастлив живот. Разказвам лично някои от моите много лични истории и ще ви разсмеем, така както ние се смяхме от сърце до преди малко, докато записвахме нашия разговор, точно така както си говорим обикновено с него. Даниел ще бъде в България на 24 и 26 октомври за мъжки ретрит, много близо до София. Чуйте какво има да ви каже за 3 дни, които ще води ретрита и вашият шанс да прекарате с него 3 прекрасни дни, за да може да минете през трансформацията, която най-вероятно в момента усещате, че имате нужда. Отидете на линка под това видео, вижте повече подробности за самият ретрит. Ретрита ще се води само на английски език, няма да има преводач. Това видео сме го превели с субтитри на български език, но ретрита ще бъде само на английски, без превод, директно с Даниел. А сега насладете се на нашия чат за мъжете, за трудностите, пред които преминавате, за нелекият живот в момента, който водите. А жени прекрасни, споделете това видео с вашите мъже, защото ще им бъде изключително интересно да чуят друга мъжка гледна точка за това как да пускат целият контрол и всичко, което в момента ги трови, тормози и тревожи. Прегръщам ви, насладете се на видеото. Tell me what for men, because I know men are struggling right now quite a lot. Okay, I'm going to say a different way. Men are struggling quite more than comparing to women, generally speaking, because it's a general sentence. But there are quite a lot of things behind the scene of why it's not just emotions, but most probably going to say it first. But what men are struggling with right now?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think there's so as you know, there's so much that men are struggling with that humans are struggling with. So
give me the top three struggle for men.
So I would guess there is this need to be strong, to be shown as macho and tough, and to have this certain exterior sort of persona that you have to be as a man, and it's understandable because, you know, as a man, women expect you to do certain things, to act a certain way, so it's the persona.
Wait, we're gonna dive deeper into each of those.
Yeah.
So the first one is your belief that you need to be macho. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the and maybe in way, you know, you're from Bulgaria, so, you know, probably stronger in Bulgaria, and, you know, I'm originally from Poland, as you know, so those countries is quite strong in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
England probably not so strong, but even still, you know, you're not allowed as well to express certain emotions, even if you feel them.
Okay.
It's like, you know, those emotions have to be shut down. That's the second thing, you know. It's like the inability to fully express and to shut down your feelings. So if you feel, let's say, tearful, or you feel these certain emotions men are allowed to feel, other emotions they're not. You know, it's more less acceptable for us to feel sadness and grief than, for example, an emotion like anger.
Okay, wait, what's the third one? We're gonna dive deeper in each of those, because I'm really interested to talk about each of those.
Yes.
So we said like being a macho, express emotions, and put down men. Like you feel like
It's
women make you feel.
okay. No, it's there's I think there seems to be a concerted effort to put men down in some way. I don't know what it's like in Bulgaria, but in the US, in the UK, men are always made fun of. It seems that they're being put down. It seems that men can't do anything right, and this is the culture. It seems like there's a culture of doing that in the UK, and there's this constant putting down of men, and I think it's extremely unfair. And it's like we're at fault for everything that is wrong in the world, which is, I don't agree with, and I don't think many women agree with it. It's all a mutual thing, but it's like there's a need to keep men low or push
Is
them
that
down.
because we women start like fighting for our rights and like showing men that we can do the same what you guys do at work, and like we're better and we're strong? And is that the reason why at some point the balance were completely off?
I don't know. I mean, I always see that when we have unaddressed emotions, let's say, for example, women carry a lot of suppressed emotions like men, but their emotions they carry, maybe a little bit different. So, as we have those equal rights movements, those, for example, those unaddressed emotions may consequently come out and push men down. And because there's suppressed anger, like, I always believe a lot of women carry suppressed anger towards men.
Yeah.
As men carry suppressed anger towards women, and it's just hidden deep down within all of us.
I see.
And in certain situations that comes up now because men women are not as physically strong as men. Then if that anger has to be expressed some way, so it's usually expressed through words, it's usually expressed in a different way. Men express their anger more like physically, but women can't do that, especially towards men, so it has to be done another way. I'm not sure if that's the reason why, though. I don't know. I just feel like, I see it all the time on Western TV that there's this concerted effort to put down men. And I don't think it's aligned with love. I don't think it benefits women. It definitely doesn't benefit men, and it definitely doesn't benefit women.
No, I don't think so.
So it feels like that's the case. But I mean, you would know yourself. I don't know. Does it happen in Bulgaria? Did you see that?
I don't know. I haven't lived in Bulgaria for 18 years, so I'm not the one to say.
Yeah.
But I'm sure everyone who is watching that, put it in the comments how you feel on that, and say it's interesting to learn a bit more what you think. Men, I'm talking about men commenting below, not women commenting below.
It may not be specifically happen. It may not happen in Bulgaria, but it's definitely happening in the UK and the US. It's like it's the movement of feminism, but feminism in a distorted format, in a distorted way, which comes from negativity, which comes from hate. And that I think is dangerous. Feminism that empowers, women and us equally, I think is great. It's amazing. But when you empower one and then you disempower the other, you're just going to harm yourself.
And I think that actually adds more on the weight of shoulders for men feeling not good enough.
Yeah, I think it's more likely to have that pattern of not feeling good enough now across men, more men than ever before.
Okay.
That it seems that that narrative is said over and over again in order to make men believe they're not good enough, they're not good human beings, they're not. And I think the majority of men are good men.
I
You
know.
know, the majority of people, not just men, people are good people. Yes,
Yeah.
they have stuff that needs to be resolved, but they're good.
I feel for you guys. Like honestly, like every time when I see men and I see them that they struggle with exactly that of not feeling good enough in something, I constantly speak with them and I'm trying to show them that everyone is like, regardless man or woman, we all feel like that in certain areas in our life, that we're not good enough. But that doesn't mean that we should be feeling that you're put down, right? It's like it's just complete disbalance,
Yeah,
imbalance.
yeah. But
What
then,
about that macho thing? Like, because I
yeah,
want to speak a lot more about emotions, because it's a lot really interesting. But why men believe that we want men to look like macho and express themselves like macho and whatever else? What exactly is the belief here?
because you do. I
Love it.
you know, I don't think any woman wants a feminine man. Now, I'm not macho. I'm not tough guy. I like sort of male stuff, sports. I like, very analytical, but I'm not macho by any means. I don't fight on the weekends, or or I don't do anything like that. But I think because women, their nature is, to be provided and protected for. That's
Yeah.
the inherent nature. They like to have a man who can do that. So, usually it's like, the man who's strong, who can work out, someone like that can, be the protector, can be the provider.
Damn,
So,
you're right. Because now I'm thinking, like my ex-husband, like every time when he was hugging me, he was taller than me, like a bit, yeah, like as tall as you actually. And every time when he was hugging me, it was like a teddy bear hug, and I loved that.
yeah,
Honestly, like
yeah.
totally. Anyway, sorry, like putting it, but doesn't mean that like I'm into macho male men. It's just yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the times what we believe is a strong man is I mean, a strong man, a proper man, is actually negative. Like, the traits of a masculine man, a lot of the times, I said, are negative. So decisive, confident, focused. Because aggression is kind of, I mean, you can be transformed and transmuted into a positive emotion, and and aggression, when someone's invading in your house and coming into your house uninvited, that's a very good thing.
Mm.
But a lot of times the traits of a traditional man, definitely recently, have been pushed down and said as negative, as bad. So it's difficult, a man who's naturally comes with a masculine qualities, and he's been all of a sudden told,
So,
yeah,
sorry interrupting you, but
yeah.
does that mean that when man doesn't have that macho structure of his body, it's like it feels like he doesn't have a chance in front of women? Does that, what's the belief here, or how you feel, guys?
I mean, it depends on each individual man. I know I had that, and I know a lot of men have that.
You never show that, like, really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm
I definitely,
an honest conversation today, as always.
yeah. No, definitely, because I was not a strong. I was very thin. I wasn't muscular. I was sporty, but my
Yeah, you're
sister,
very sporty.
yeah,
Yeah.
my sister would always make fun of me of how skinny I was, and and I would get my friends as well. Daniel, you've got to be more macho, and my friends would say that, but my inherent nature is quite soft. I'm not a macho man, so I felt inadequate with regards to men that were like quite traditional type, I don't know, like Tarzan or who's it, Aquaman, whoever it is.
I'm sorry, Aquaman is another group. I'm sorry.
Thor, Thor then.
Gosh, 3 years ago on my birthday, my other best friend in London asked me like how I want to celebrate my birthday. I'm so ashamed actually to share that story, but I'm gonna share it because we're totally honest here. And I said no. He said, "Do you want to go for like billiard or like just I'm gonna take you out?" And I said, "Let's go for a cinema." And he was like, "What cinema?" And I was like, "Yeah, Aquaman is out, so let's go to watch."
Was this a male friend, female?
He is. We work together in Primark, and why I wanted to go for the movie is because Aquaman went out, and I watched like 2 days in a row. I was watching the movie for the movie, like how they shoot it behind the scene. And there is this like the best scene when he showed up when like the whole thing, like the body covered in this like whatever costume he has with all the muscles and everything. And the movie behind the movie, basically, he was Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, I think. Yeah.
Momoa. And he was basically saying that they did the costume 6 months before they shoot that scene, and when he had to be on that scene, he put that costume and he couldn't breathe, and he turned blue because he just couldn't breathe. So they had to stop.
Aquaman,
yeah, so they had, and after basically taking all the measurements to do the costume, they had to pump him up with all the muscles and everything. So here comes the day when they are shooting the scene. He puts the costume, he turns blue because he can't breathe. They had to stop the whole shooting and redo the whole costume, right?
Oh wow.
And here's the day when on my birthday, I'm watching that movie with my other best friend, Adam. And here comes the scene. And the whole of the cinema, all the women's like, and here's Biljana bursting out in laughter, right? And then Adam turns around, he was like, "What's wrong with you? You're always like that." And I'm like, "I'm gonna just tell you later on, don't worry." He's like, "Is that why we came? So you can laugh all the time?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter." But it was funny. It was really funny. But yeah, Aquaman, different group. Okay.
And but I think the majority of men are Aquaman. They're not. They don't
no one is Aquaman. Come on, even Jason.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I know.
Like, it's only a small select few of people that have that kind of presence. Yeah. So it's different. Yeah.
As a woman, I can tell you that a lot of women don't like six packs muscles body.
Really? I'm surprised.
What? I said a lot of women. It's like most probably, I would say more than 60% of all the women I know, and I talk about that in a very friendly female conversations. We don't like six packs.
Is that what you say, or is that the truth?
Yeah, no, it's true. Like trust me, like it's the very honest female conversations, but we just okay, I'm gonna say it. Oh, for goodness sake, I'm gonna say it. Why we don't like six packs?
Oh, hold on. Is that you though? Do you like?
No. Oh, like I'm saying 60% of women.
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about you. Do you like six packs?
No, I don't. Oh, and I'll tell you why. Because that's what I was sharing with my girlfriends, and they were saying like that's exactly why we don't like six packs. When you kiss a male body, like someone's body, and it's a six pack, there's nothing to kiss. Like there's like you just need to hug and kiss some kind of like I don't meat, like skins, and it's like just like your lips and nose is like hitting a rock, and that's not nice.
Okay, I don't know. I've never had that experience. Never kissed
Obviously,
any man.
you don't like men. You can't say.
Yeah, I don't know, but okay, all right. Surprising. I learned something today.
Yeah, 60%. Can you imagine?
Okay,
60%
yeah.
of women around me, we don't like macho men. It's interesting.
Whereas most guys, I think, have that as the ideal kind of, at least the physical aspect. You know, to be big built, a lot of muscles.
Yeah, relax.
Yeah.
Relax. Totally relax. But what about emotions? What is the biggest challenge for men to not express emotions?
To not express, or in expressing their emotions. What's the biggest challenge in expression? Because there's certain emotions that we're allowed to feel and they're okay. Certain emotions we're not.
Why? Why they're not?
Because we're conditioned through society, through upbringing, through being a man, through our fathers, you know, because their fathers and their fathers told them, you know, you got to be strong, you shouldn't cry. But you know, I think, as you know, when we hold these emotions in, it actually weakens us. So
Yeah.
the emotion wants to come out for a reason. So when we feel a certain way, it wants to come out, and in an ideal world, giving that emotion space and time to run its course will enable us to feel freer, to feel lighter, to feel stronger. But if, you know, as you know, if we hold that emotion in, then it takes energy to, and I think I've said this to you before, is the more emotion we hold on, the more energy it takes. So the energy of emotion isn't available to us when we suppress it, nor the energy we use to push it down. So when we free the emotion, the energy of the emotion is given back to us, plus the energy we use to push it down. It's like keeping a balloon held underwater. It requires energy to do so, and that's the problem.
So what happens when you do it over and over every day? Because you're constantly, every day, you're pressing down emotions and you're using a lot of energy to do it.
Yeah, so we're doing it unconsciously. We're doing it and we're doing it through tension. So whenever we experience tension in our bodies, tension exists to hold emotion down. Now, when we release the emotion, all of a sudden the body releases the tension, and we free. We don't have that injury, or we don't have that pain, or we don't feel so tight. So gradually releasing the emotions basically frees us up of energy to be able to do, you know, creativity, to heal our body, to run faster, to communicate in a different way, to reconnect,
To run a business, to have
run
a
a business.
family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And to have a family and to be good in the family.
Yeah.
And like,
And when we keep pushing it down, it takes away all our energy. So we find ourselves, we're getting more tired. Our immune system doesn't work as well. We don't have creative ideas. We don't connect with the people around us. It's just a complete opposite effect.
Is that the reason why a lot of men having like big struggle to connect with anyone else?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons firstly, men don't connect as deeply as women is because of suppressed grief. So grief is the gateway emotion to connection and love. So anytime we want to cry and release the grief, and we don't shift the energy, then that creates a block between us and others. And the more we do this, the more we hold on to our grief, the bigger the brick wall gets. And as we finally start to get in touch with any hidden grief or contained within us, and we release it, all of a sudden we find our relationships improves, our relationship with our parents or our children may get better, or even a complete stranger. Because grief is always that gateway emotion to more connection, more love, that sense of oneness as well.
That's the first time when I actually understood quite deeply what exactly you do with your men group and what you teach them, because I didn't think, but is there like certain method and steps that you can basically follow so you can teach yourself, in your case, you, to teach other men how to learn how to express emotions?
There's certain sort of, there's a lot of different tools and techniques you could use. Like, for example, breath work, meditation,
letting go technique.
The letting go techniques, the emotional release techniques. There's EFT. There's so many different types. But what's important to understand is how, when you are stopping that from happening. So, for example, whenever you blame, and I was on a client session recently, or just this morning, where the client was stuck in blame. Someone else was the cause of her pain. And if someone else is the cause of your pain, then they must create your pain. So basically, if they create your pain, you cannot release your pain. You cannot release your anger. You cannot release that. But if you understand and you take the shift in perspective that you are the creator of your experience, then you can release the blame and then clear and let go of the emotion. But this is one way in which we stop that process from happening. We stop, we resort in blame, we say something is bad. Like, if something happens and we say it's bad, and as soon as we say it's bad, we resist it. We push against it. Pushing against it basically means the emotion continues. Our experience of suffering goes on and on.
Because you work with men and women, why for men is more difficult than for women to release those emotions like blame and anger and grief?
I don't know if it's more difficult for men to release them. It's more difficult for them to release certain emotions.
Okay. What emotions are most difficult for men to release?
I think I would say, again, sadness.
Okay.
Shame, probably. Sadness and shame. They're two really big ones that men find difficult to release.
I see grief.
Sorry?
Grief.
Yeah, grief and sadness are pretty much the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, grief, sadness, shame. It depends. It also depends on cultures. So, for example, Bulgarian men will have a different emotional signature to English men, which will be different to Polish men, which will be different to Russian men. So there'll be certain emotions that can be expressed in Bulgaria that wouldn't be able to be expressed in England.
Yeah.
And that's it. It also shifts as well in families.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously. There is a difference between Italians and Bulgarians. I'm joking.
Yeah. You
joking.
Didn't you have an Italian boyfriend?
No.
No, but you. Okay, you didn't. Okay, I thought you did. Maybe not. No.
My ex-husband is Peruvian, but not Italian. But he does speak Italian. That's why you were confused.
My mistake.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm happily divorced. Happily is the key word in the sentence, So how when you work with people, where you start from, like when you see people struggling with like emotions, especially men, because by the way, I just want to say that I'm organizing for Daniel an amazing men only retreat. And that is, the dates are 24th, 26th of October, which is Friday to Sunday. We're going to start at 10 a.m. on Friday, 24th of October. We're going to finish Sunday, 26th of October, around 4 p.m. With an early start. So 3 days with Daniel. And it will be a VIP retreat. So everyone will have a very personal work, but also group work, but also very individually given time for each man to release emotions. And what actually is your specialty is to teach people how to let go and how to release emotions. Those two are like always, amaze me. And I've seen people working with you because I know few of your clients, and I've seen like a massive shift in the way how they live their life now, and it's amazing. And like, what's the most important thing when someone gets on the path of letting go and working on its emotions?
I think honesty is one of the things. Being honest with what we're really feeling, and that in itself might be a block. There may be a part of us that, oh my God, if I'm honest, because when we're honest, things come up.
Yeah.
When we're honest with how we feel what is there. But when we're not honest, it's pushed down. And I may say, you may say to me, how am I feeling? And I'm feeling sad. And if I'm dishonest, I'll say I'm okay. Then that means I don't need to feel the sadness. But as soon as I say, well, actually I feel sad, then I experience it a lot more.
I've seen that with men lately in relationships, when their wives in front of me asking them like something like what's going on, Bulgarian versions of like how are you, what's going on, and then like nothing, everything is fine, nothing, and like block.
Yeah. And there may be a feeling that needs to be dealt with before that main feeling. It could be nothing. So that feeling it's a protection. Maybe it's a fear of being vulnerable, a fear of being judged, whatever is there before. Because often when we're not saying the truth and we're not being honest, it's because there's a fear somewhere along the line. There's a fear which is hidden. Yeah.
And I can't be bothered to explain right now.
Yeah. It could be that. It's just, maybe it's a case of, I think all of this is rubbish or bullshit.
Say the word, don't worry.
Yeah, it could be all of that.
Okay.
Can I say bullshit? I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So there could be that specific pattern playing out. Or it could just be we're not aware of what we are feeling. And that's so really common.
Yeah. It's like, honesty is the first one. And then?
Honesty, again, awareness. It's that way, because you can't let go of something that you don't even know exists.
I think that's a big one. Awareness.
Yeah.
When I work with regardless men or women, awareness that you're doing something, like to turn back the film in your head and realize what you do, your actions, your words, your feelings, your thoughts. It's like going back, honestly, like and from the thoughts to actually realize that your thoughts are coming from beliefs, and beliefs is the the beginning of the whole chain and steps.
Yeah.
And when you're aware that your beliefs are driving your thoughts, that are driving your actions, and driving the results in your life and everything that's happening, what we say, then everything changed the moment when you change the beliefs, and the rest basically changes.
Yeah, but it all starts with awareness. It's you have
Yeah.
to be aware of it first. So that's, I'd say, a huge aspect. Another thing I would go with saying is, again, I said it earlier, drop blame. You have to understand that you are the creator of your reality, in that, these unconscious beliefs and thoughts are hidden, and they attract people and situations into our experience in order to help resolve these unconscious patterns. And as they're resolved and we clear these unconscious patterns, these beliefs, these emotions, then all of a sudden we attract different experiences, different situations. And you know this better than most.
Oh yeah.
I mean, based on the journey that you've taken as well.
Difficult journey. By the way, thank you. Every time I see you, I thank you for that. But you're the person who has been literally backing up my back, backing me up, like holding the space for me. Every time when I needed to cry and be vulnerable and explaining that I lost everything, and that I'm not 0 points, or like just below the 0 point, like level minus 367. You are there just to hold the space and silently listen to my sniffing and crying and like words and all the bullshitting myself as well, and then just like showing it in front of me, but very gentle way of showing it to me.
But you've done the same for me as well. So
Yeah.
I know there's moments where, I've been struggling and you've been there for me. So, it's whatever you say to me it's mutual, 100%. So thank you.
That's why you are one of my best friends. Absolutely. And what is the role of understanding different aspects? Like what is best, you think? Like, do we take every aspect in our life and I see the shadows in that aspect, and where I feel not true to myself, or I feel that things are going wrong and things are completely stuck, and then take it from there? Or like aspect by aspect?
Explain what you mean again, because I'm not
like if I start working on myself, like I'm thinking like that, like when I come to, okay, put it this way, I'm gonna come for 3 days, right? I'm gonna pretend that I'm a man for a second. And I'm gonna take my man brain from me now. I'm gonna come for 3 days, right? And I've got like a list of things that they go wrong in my life. And I want them all sorted out. And I don't know where to start from. Should I start from aspects like it's my relationships and it's my business? Those are the 2 aspects. The rest is okay, like parents and whatever else, like kids, etc. But those 2 aspects are like the worst thing in my life. Or I would basically start from, these are the emotions I'm struggling with, and these are situations I'm struggling with, and I better start from the realizing the situations and why they're happening in my life this way. Basically trying to realize what kind of shit I'm doing in my life.
okay.
And
So
then take it from there.
so you're really asking, where should I start in doing this work specifically? So now, a lot of these sort of deep-seated patterns, these big struggles have a lot of emotion behind them, and they take a lot of energy and will. And when we first start doing this work, we tend not to have that energy, that tenacity, that willpower to deal with
But how you get that energy out of a man, because he doesn't have an energy, and
What do you
you're
mean he
really
doesn't
good
have it? Because
with
he has
that.
an energy. Because he has an energy. Men have a lot of energy, believe me, yeah. Especially when it comes to certain things, yeah. So, you know, so the will, for example, it's the will which is the key, the will to want to look within, to deal with whatever is within us. Now, I always tend to work on the small things. So, for example, I may say something, think of something small you want to feel better about. And it could be that your football team didn't win.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Could something, that your football team didn't win over the weekend. So could you welcome that feeling? Could you welcome that feeling of wanting them to win, or being upset that they didn't? And we just work on these small things. Now, football for some men could be huge. So maybe we need to work on something smaller.
Yeah.
And then we clear on the small things, they clear on the small fears, the small anxieties. For example, there could be an anxiety. It could be, some men watching this may want to start a business, and there's a fear in starting the business. So rather than work on the whole fear of starting the business, we break it up into little chunks, and we clear on these little components of starting a business. Yeah. Or separate to that, we clear on any fear that exists in our life. So whenever let's say we're walking down the streets and we see someone who's more macho than us, and there's a little bit and looks very aggressive, and there's a little bit of fear, can we clear on that fear? So it could be a fear of writing an email, it could be a fear of picking up the phone, it could be whatever it is. It could be a fear of not having enough money to pay a bill.
I
We
love
work
that.
on these little fears.
Give me an example with burnout. How you split that on small steps, burnout.
Okay, burnout. So what usually burnout is a lot of different things coming together to create this whole experience of burnout. So in which case you'd ask yourself, where have I resisted what is happening? So burnout could be, I've done a lot of, let's say, burnout running a business, let's say, or working in a job, people asking a lot. So maybe you have one boss who asks for a lot. Maybe there's one project and you're working on 4 different projects, but there's one project that creates a lot of feeling of heaviness. It feels like it's sapping your energy. So you work on your emotions around that one project. Then you pick something else. Okay, it could be another project, this other project I'm working at.
Yeah, or like incapability to delegate.
Yeah, it could be a fear of delegation, which causes the burnout to happen because you do everything yourself.
Yeah.
So you'd work on that. So where is the instance I didn't delegate? So I didn't delegate here in this area. Okay. Can I connect with the feelings and emotions around that? And then it'd be another instance. And so you do it in this area and then in another area. And as you're doing that, you're working on a total reservoir of fear, of anxiety, fear, maybe shame, maybe guilt. But you do it on the little things there. So you break up the big thing into the little.
Feeling worthy.
Yeah, feeling worthy. And that will be almost in every area at some level.
Yeah. What about family relationship, like broken family relationship?
Yeah, that's a big one. And again, so for example, let's say you've got
Where you start from, because it's a big thing.
Yeah. So
how you break that on small steps.
So let's say you've got something with you've got a brother. So I had a client of mine who he had a brother. Now, originally when we were working together, we weren't working on his brother. we were working on him getting investment into his business. So he needed, I think it was about £300,000 into his business. And whenever he spoke to investors, he would put the investors up on the pedestal and him down here. And when we started talking about this, I said to him, how do you feel? And he said, I don't feel worthy enough. I feel they're above me. They're more superior. And at that moment, his brother calls. And I ask him, is there any connection there? And the first thing he says is no. And then he thinks about it and he's like, yeah, there is. I feel exactly the same way as I do with my investors as I do with my brother. So we started working on his brother.
I see.
Yeah, we started work, and what we did is we cleared on different aspects of his brother where he felt he was more superior. It could have been the way he spoke to him. It could have been, the fact that he was older. It could have been it was this or that. It was different aspects where he felt inferior. And as we cleared on those different aspects, he actually started to reconnect with his brother.
Nice.
And the funny thing is he would tell me, he said, my brother, I've wanted him to work with me on my business, but he doesn't. And ever since we started clearing this, he rings me up and he never calls me up. And it was really strange. Sometimes he would, like, whenever we would work with him or I'd work with him, when we finished the call, his brother would call him up.
I love that.
And he wrote, he wrote me a WhatsApp once. He said, I can't believe it. Every single time I do this work on my brother, he ends up calling me.
You know what I love in that story? That the man came to you because of his business. You sort out his personal life and relationship with the brother that cleared out the business relationships.
Yeah. And this is how it works because everything's interconnected. So, no matter what you work on, it will affect everything. So, and, I had a friend of mine who does this work as well. And I introduced him to this work. And I remember one time we went away together on a men's retreat. And he cleared stuff around his father. He rings me up about 2 weeks after this. And I don't know if I've told you the story. He rings me up about 2 weeks after this. And he said, Dan, you wouldn't believe it. Ever since I, let go of my anger towards my father, my fear of my father, my fear of spiders has disappeared.
What?
Yeah.
What's the connection between a father and spiders?
It's all fear. It's all fear. It's both fear. It's fear of spiders. Fear. It's the same fear.
Interesting.
So as his fear of his father dissolved, his fear of spiders went away. And he also had this same guy as well, healed his alcoholism, his addiction to alcohol.
Wow.
And that was really absolutely amazing how he did that as well. But yeah, it's all interconnected. So whatever fear we work on will affect the total reservoir of fear we have. So, for me, go on. You're going to say something.
No, finish that because I have another topic, another question on how you break small things.
I was just saying, when I processed my fear, like, for example, I had, and I know I told you this, but about 9 years ago, I woke up in the middle of the night, had a nightmare. And this nightmare brought up an intense amount of fear in me. And I decided, rather than switching the light, putting the radio, distract myself, I'm going to go right into the center of this fear. And I'm going to just feel it. I'm going to experience it. I'm going to put my warrior mindset on, my warrior energy, and just feel it and not stop. And so I sat with this fear for 2 hours. After that point, every single fear from that point on in my life dissolved. my fear making business decisions, my fear in public speaking, my fear in speaking to my ex-wife. I'm sure some men have that. Even my fear in getting into a pool and swimming, which I didn't realize I had. So I would go into a swimming pool, and after this 2 hours of processing and clearing all of his fear out, I remember going into a swimming pool and thinking, I feel different. I don't know why am I feeling different? And then I realized I was less afraid. And then I realized I had always swam, got into a pool, but there was fear, but I just swam anyway.
Yeah.
And just by clearing that huge layer of fear, or layers of fear, during that night, during the nights, had affected my entire life. So
Amazing. Tell me the story about the Indian. It's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah. Well, when I was in doing my business, yeah. So I ran an IT company, managed services company, back in the UK, and been running it for a number of years. And at one point, I realized I had this judgment of Indian people, and I carried this for a long time. Specifically, it was around sort of young Indian men. Young Indian men in the UK tend to be quite, fancy cars, show off their wealth in many respects. Not all of them. There was a certain type that I got triggered by. And one day I remember I see this. I'm sitting down and I see it so clearly, what I've been doing. And I start to feel all this emotion, this guilt, this shame, this sadness, this grief about that, because I realized all of the times I could have had really good relationships, but I didn't because of my own fears, because of my own insecurities. And I was just showing what was within me, because I was exactly like that, but I had rejected that part. And as I started to let go of all these emotions and to release them, a lot of tears came, a lot of sadness, a lot of guilt and shame.
Where the insecurity came from at that time?
The what?
The insecurity.
The insecurity
Do you
came
remember?
from I think it was me not being good enough, and that manifested. But when I let it go, every single relationships with my Indian clients changed, my friends. From a business point of view, negotiations became easier. They were more friendly towards me. It was just completely different. It was a complete 180 to what I had previously experienced. And it was a complete shift. Yeah.
I do remember, like, out of nowhere, like, Indian wealthy people were coming to you and, making business with your company.
It was different. Yeah, it was it changed completely.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
So that topic I wanted to ask you, when I mentioned, listen to that, when I mentioned that I'm going to organize a men-only weekend retreat, one of my really good friends said, like, I'm coming regardless what's the topic. I really need to release quite a lot because it's a lot going on right now in his family and between him and his wife. And so I'm not going to go into details because it's his personal story, but he basically started reading a lot. And then at some point he started going deeper and deeper into his own emotions, which, like, I absolutely had off for what he did, because he so wants to save his marriage and be with his wife. They've got 2 kids, and at some point he said, like, I think jealousy is the reason why I'm struggling right now, because I'm really jealous and I need to let go of jealousy. Have you ever had any case when men came and they were struggling with jealousy and you had to break that steps, what you're saying, and you had to really make it as easy as possible for them, so they can start realizing that it's not just jealousies, you know, whatever layers are there.
Yeah. Not specifically with men. Jealous, that hasn't come up as yet.
Or the other way around, like
But
women.
with women, yes, yeah, it comes up, but it's regardless, it's the same approach. It's like, you know, there may be different reasons why the jealousy exists.
Yeah.
And it could be, you know, it's always an insecurity within ourselves. We don't feel comfortable with who we are.
Okay, I'm gonna spill it out. It doesn't matter really, because, you know, people don't know who I'm talking about. But basically, the story there is very interesting. His wife wants to have an open relationship and be able to see other men and have, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna say full relationship with someone, like other people, plural. Where he's very traditional man of a man and a woman in a family is only one man for the woman and one woman for the man. And he's like strictly by his rules, where he wants an open relationship. And then at some point he was like, wait a minute, why I'm doing that? You know, like why I'm like that? Like why I can't just accept my wife the way how she is? And then when he started going deeper, he was like, well, because I'm jealous of like seeing and knowing, not seeing, but knowing my wife is going to be with other men, and I don't want to know that.
Yeah. So look, I mean, that's a deep thing. That's it brings up our deepest patterns. I mean, I would question why she suggested that in the first place. You know, if a woman suggests that, then I would say she's already doing that, to be honest with you. If I'm honest, I feel that's already happened, or there's some, either she's already doing it or she's definitely thinking about it.
Confirmed. Yeah, confirmed.
Yeah.
I can confirm. I mean, he knows.
Yeah, exactly. So is that your path? You know, that's, you know, I think it's important to clear the feelings that come up, because all of this is happening to help him clear these feelings. It's happening, and I understand that completely.
Honestly, he came to me and I said, I can't help you. Like, I can't, I don't know where to start from. I don't know. I was like, I can't. But here you go, Daniel. Go to the retreat, ask all the questions, clear out, let go all the emotions, go through all the emotions. It's a man weekend. Whatever you want to do, it's a man weekend. Just go.
Yeah.
That was my answer.
I mean, look, that's a tricky one, because it touches our sense of beingness as a man, a sense of like the, you know, yeah, I would still clear. I would clear what comes up within himself. You know, if that was me, I'd clear what's within me, what comes up when they do that and do that. And then once I'm clear on that, then I can make a decision from love. So if I find, well, do you know what? My journey is to be with one person and just me and her, and not have a third party in there, then I can let her go with love. Yeah. But that may be, well, actually, you know, when you clear as well, you clear all these fears. It could be that's something that you're open to. There's no right or wrong answer. No. Traditionally, it's you know, it should be man and woman. But once you clear all of these patterns, your inherent nature could be different. But after you clear them, you're like, no, you know, she can go. You can let go of her completely. But you do it out of love. You don't do it, you know, out of fear or so,
or like holding into it and like really holding the whole relationship, and like I don't want to let go because it's you know, like old traditions, family stays together regardless, and whatever else is there.
But also,
you're gonna have Sorry,
was
go
going to
ahead.
say this entire experience for him could be happening to help him resolve his need for connection and oneness. It's like maybe it's really strong in him. It's like this pattern that's playing out, and the only way it can reflect it back at him is to give him a situation where his wife goes out with another man. And once he resolves these feelings, it may be that shifts and changes.
Yeah, you're gonna have another case as well, but we kind of spoke about that, like a huge fear of it's a businessman. He runs a business, quite big one, and it's a lot of fear around the business. But we already touched that topic, like, because I really loved it how you started from a business, turned into personal life connections with family, in this case a brother, and then it just resolved business as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna have that case as well.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I mean, this work, as you know, and you know, doing it yourself, you can apply it to any situation. You can apply it to your health, to like to wealth as well, to any situation. You can just as you let go, things start to shift.
How you apply the same letting go technique when it's towards health.
So let's
Give me
say
an example of any, whatever you've got so many cases anyway.
Yeah, so often when we have a health issue, we're resisting it in some way. There's a sense of resistance, of wanting it to change. So we have to first deal with that, how we're resisting it. So we're pushing back. We're coming from a fear-based, anxious place. So there's a fear associated with a health issue. So we work on clearing fear. And again, if you clear on different areas of fear in your life, then you work on the whole reservoir. So for example, I think it's you store fear in your kidneys. So often health issues will manifest in certain areas based on what emotions we have stored.
So what if you have issues with your kidneys, what kind of emotions you store there?
I think it's fear, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Anger often is stored in, but fear can be stored anywhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But grief, sorrow stored in the hearts, of course.
What's in the throat?
Throat, again, communications, the chakras, the communication chakra of the throat. So often the ability not to speak or words which haven't been said.
What's the spine?
Spine, lower back, I think is mainly to do with support. Again, financial, could be support from a fatherly figure as well. But the different areas of the spine as well. There's a
shoulders, and then blades, and then lower back.
Yeah. It just depends. I wouldn't do it as concrete, but you can use what's happening in your body to help you with certain patterns. And funny enough, I think I said this to you before, one of my clients when she resolved her relationship with her brother and the grief around that, then her insulin levels stabilized.
Really? She's not high level of insulin.
I don't know exactly. She wrote me a message once. Since clearing all of this stuff, my insulin levels have been the most stable they've ever been. And she was completely
stable,
closed-minded to this work before. So, and I've seen that happen when you've let go. I've seen it happen with my shoulder. When I've let go, then my shoulder has improved.
Same here.
Oh, with you as well, yeah?
Remember so the left shoulder, I healed it with all the Dr. Joe Dispenza work.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And the right shoulder, 3 years later, my right shoulder starts it started locking.
Yeah.
Which was very weird. And then we start talking, and you helped me actually to release all emotions and different stuff going on in my life. And I didn't even realize I was stuck in, like decisions, like taking a decision in my life. And it was difficult to take decision to let go of something that I know and love so much, and doing it with such love.
Yeah.
And the moment when I was like, okay, I really had to let go. And I do remember the whole process of letting go and just let that part of my life to be past and not anymore present, of running certain business. The moment when I let it go completely, my just right arm, just shoulder, just unlocked directly.
Do you know, it's really funny you should say that, because I didn't know it was, because I had the same thing. My left shoulder first was an issue, and then my right shoulder about 3 years later. Yeah, and then I both worked on the burdens. So
Burdens.
yeah.
It was a burden. It like, the thing is that when you run a business, you don't realize this is a burden, because it's complicated, because you're so much into details and into business and running it and organizing and managing people and projects and so much going on. And you don't take it as a burden, because the adrenaline from what you do is such a high level that the adrenaline is feeding your body. And when you get a shoulder lock situation, then obviously you start going to doctors, and you start thinking about like alternative ways, because doctor says nothing is wrong with you, go away. And pills don't help at all. And in my case, like Chinese medicine doesn't help, and acupuncture and everything that I tried didn't work. And the moment when, with the right shoulder, because I already had my learnings from my left shoulder, and I was like, no, the right shoulder started locking, like day by day. It's the same pattern as the left one. And I was so upset. I remember that. I was like, no, you're not gonna lock that. Like I'm not, like whatever it is, I'm gonna just be so quickly releasing whatever it is and stored in my body and changing it. And I start meditating, like long meditations, and it didn't help. Like it was helping to a certain point. I was keeping it around 80% motion, and the other 20 was like really like struggling all the time.
Yeah.
And we had a chat, like we had the chat like twice. That was it, actually, if I remember. And twice I realized my, like, the whole burden from what I was carrying on my shoulders. And the moment I was like, okay, I really, like, regardless how much I loved my business at that point, the TEDx coaching business, I just had to let go of that.
I remember when you did it. Yeah.
1 year, it took me 1 year to stop that, like from knowing that I need to stop that business, from my spiritual guides, all the way to stopping it. It was literally from September to September. The moment when I stopped it, it just, my shoulder cleared out within 1 week. So the other 20% missing, it was just like that, like a snap, because I didn't realize that it's such kind of a burden for me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But it doesn't have to be a burden. You know, business doesn't have to be a burden.
It was heavy on my shoulders. Okay.
Yeah, for you, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
With all the goodness and all the amazing things, and like being on top of, like the world and top 10 most famous coaches in the world, and like all the fame and awards and everything else, it's still for certain people felt like a burden.
But then it feels like a burden because sometimes these patterns still exist within us. It doesn't have to necessarily be a burden. And maybe if something's not our true calling, it feels like a burden.
Yeah.
So we you know, we start up something, we start up a business, we do a job, but it's not really our true calling. We're doing it because of there's a fear somewhere along the line, and that then it becomes a burden.
You know what's really interesting, since I do what I do now with all the courses and teaching meditations and spiritual awareness and awareness meditations and like feeling that is my thing. I can't even imagine to go back to corporate world, but it is the job what I was doing as a digital director, only because it doesn't resonate at all with me. And I tried, I test my body quite often. Like right now I'm testing my body with the food, what I eat anyway, different story. But I tested it just to see how my body is going to react. And I was thinking, what's going to happen if I go back to corporate, but not specifying what exactly. And it was internally, it was like this kind of like really indigestion, heaviness from inside, right? And then I sat down, I was like, okay, body, so how do you feel if I go back to corporate world, but teaching meditations and being who I am right now, but working with the companies the way how I was working before as a coach, but this time not coaching them public speaking, but coaching them awareness and mindfulness and meditations and different techniques to calm their mind. And literally my body was like, oh my God, I love that. There was like zero indigestion, zero, like it was full happiness.
Yeah, I mean, you're effectively communicating with your higher self, your soul, and that's the communication you're receiving. So yeah, and I think, as you know very well, that the more stuff you clear, the more you're in alignment with your higher self, what you truly want to do. And you've been an inspiration for me with regards to that. So
I'm beating your ass time to time.
Yeah, like, you have. Yeah,
it's time to do that.
Yeah, it's
sorry,
because I was, you know, I was like, I had that struggle as well.
You know why I'm doing it? Because you've got so many individual clients. You do such an amazing individual work, and I see you like you are on stage, and it's on stage is different. The stages you do is like big host, okay, put it this way, like what you did in Turkey. You're going to Istanbul.
Well, I'm going to do something in Turkey. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah. True. You didn't. Yeah, you're in Turkey right before you come to Bulgaria, actually. So yeah, it's like being on stage is like a mass transformation you do, and it's not individual, but there is a middle thing between individual client sessions and being on stage and group transformations, and that middle thing is the retreats, and that's why I'm organizing one for you.
Yeah, do you know what I love?
Small groups.
I do. I think I mean, you know that, and we both love what we do because it's transformational. When we see, like, when you see people heal relationships that have remained difficult for a long time, or suddenly they're free of pain, or sudden they get the job or the career that they want. It's amazing. It's
fulfilling.
This is exactly why I do this work. This is exactly why I ended up selling my business, because this is far more fulfilling and purposeful than what I was doing before. And don't get me wrong, I love doing that to a certain degree, but yeah, it feels, again, like doing the work that you do is more alignment with who you are than not. And it's the same with me. It's like what I do now. Yeah.
Thank you for being in my life.
thank you for being in my life.
Oh my God! Wait, we need to finish. The two of us can chat for ages. Honestly, it's so interesting every time. It just amazes me how many things you know and practice and the different techniques. It's just amazing. Okay, we need to finish. So we are gonna have you in Bulgaria, in a very special place, beautiful, amazingly beautiful place. And really, we had to choose a place which is really cool also for men retreats. It's a very, I don't know, it's you guys are gonna see it. So go on the link below that video. You're gonna see the link to the retreat with Daniel. I'm organizing it with my team. I will show up around time to time just to say hi at the beginning. And the dates are 24th, 26th of October, Friday to Sunday. We're going to start on Friday, 10 a.m. So if you want, you can come the previous night or Friday morning, regardless. It's very close to Sofia, very close to Sofia. It's again, it's beautiful place. You're gonna love it. And you're gonna have Daniel for 3 days, 3 full days, from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday full day. Sunday you're gonna finish around 4 p.m. with early start, so you can have like a maximum day out of the day. And I can't wait to see you here in Bulgaria. Is that your first time when you're gonna be here?
Second time.
Second time. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was in skiing. Where was I? Bansk, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was there before, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to coming again.
Bansk was the second place we were checking for the retreat, but no, we're gonna host it in different places.
Great.
Really good.
Looking forward to it very much, Biljana.
Me too. Oh my God, I can't believe that. That's like I'm organizing it for you. Honestly, it's just it's so good. It's so good.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. So
we are looking forward to see you all on 24th of October. Check the website, go register. We can't wait to see you. It's a very small group of 15 people are going to be on the VIP retreat with Daniel. You're going to go through letting go of emotions and every single thing that you men, lovely men, we love you so much, you struggle with, whatever you struggle with, that's going to be your topic right now. We call the retreat Restart because in Bulgarian, in English, is the same word, restart. And you will and start. You're going to restart your life, and you're going to start from beginning, from the cleared path that you want to have.
Indeed.
Big hug to all of you, and have an amazing day, evening, morning, wherever you are around this beautiful, beautiful world.
Okay, thank you, Biljana.
Thank you. Натисни бутон абониране или subscribe и после камбанката, избирайки опцията за всички известия. Благодаря ти!